Hey, this is Rob and welcome to My Tin Lizzie. Today we're going to talk about something a little bit different as opposed to Model Ts, but it is going to involve Model Ts, but there's a couple things that I wanted to talk to you about depending if you're getting a Model T or any classic car. But first, let's do this. Okay, with that fun out of the way, let's talk a little bit about getting a classic car. So, My Tin Lizzie in here, which is affectionately known as Lizzie 3, hasn't seen the elements in quite a number of years. But because of the deal that I got with the Model T, I definitely couldn't pass it up. But on the other hand, I didn't have a place to put it, and I didn't want it to be exposed to the elements. And these are things that you should be thinking about. Okay, so what I have here is a Harbor Freight little carport shed. So let me bring you inside and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so let me go ahead and show you the Harbor Freight shed we bought. Okay, there's the car. Now what I did was I had to time this pretty close. So the guy was bringing the car. I had met with him on Saturday, and he was going to deliver it on Tuesday. So I didn't have much time. So I found my local Harbor Freight that actually had one of these in stock, and I went and got it. It cost me $200. Actually, me and my wife. I don't want to say just me. And I built it. Now what I did was I decided to build just the frame. In fact, if you watched episode 1, you'll know that I built the frame, and then we had the car delivered. Let me show you the car. So we had the car delivered, okay, and then once the car was in place, I tarp covered it that night because it was a nice night. And then what I did was the next day I came out and I added the walls and the front and back. And of course, being Michigan, it had to be windy and stupid. So, and if you didn't know, I did say I'm in Michigan. One of the other things you want to consider for it is lighting. Now these, I got some LED shop lights, which are pretty nice and bright. It was a 2-pack for $15 at Menards, maybe 20, but it wasn't more than $20. So, and these are really bright at night. In fact, it lights up the whole structure here. So that was one thing I had to have. Now you notice I did run a power cord. I had to go buy an extension cord. That was quite significant to run from the house up here to the workshop or the carport. And the next thing I had to come up with was a heater, because it's Michigan and it's cold. So I had my torpedo heater, which I got back from my son, and I've had this for 20 plus years. And come to find out, while he had it in his shed, the mice had built a huge nest inside of here, and it actually got corroded, which was quite a disappointment. So I took it apart and I couldn't get it initially to clean, and a little pressed for time. So I went ahead and I just got another one. And this one came from Menards and was $180. So think about it already. I mean, we've got about $400 into this so far, between a structure, lighting, and heat, which is nice. I mean, this one's nice. It's got thermostat. It'll warm this lights, you got shelter, lights, heat. And then one of the last things that I've just been doing is, now this car when it came was in a garage. So what I wanted to do was, move that out of your way, not getting all the weirdness in the camera. One thing I needed to do was lift the car and get it off the ground. This Model T has wooden wheels. You see, it's got the wooden spokes. So with the wooden spokes and the very poor tires, I needed to lift it up and get it off the ground. I don't want any moisture on the tires. I need to lift this a little more. I got a couple of old ramp stands. I put those under there. And then I just found my, whoops, sorry about that. My battery ran out. All right, so hold this back under. There we go. You can tell we're in the city, eh? So another thing you're going to want to consider is some sort of support to lift your car off the ground, because if you're like me and you have to put it outside on the regular ground, or maybe you're even in a garage, you're going to want to think about that. I just found my jack stands, and jack stands are not cheap these days. So what I want to do is lift her up a bit and put her, I went and bought some patio stones. If you can't afford jack stands, remember cinder blocks are cheap. Okay, we could use a couple of those, but I knew I had jack stands and the ramps. So let me show you underneath. So there's the ramp stands, and I got a couple of 4x4s put on them. So at least I didn't have to eat this cost. A jack of some sort to lift the car with to get it off the ground. You can see that that tire at least is not very good. This one over here I think actually has some air in it. But anyways, we'll get to those later. Alright, so probably not one of the most fun videos in the world, but definitely something I wanted to talk about before we dig in deeper into this channel. If you're getting yourself a Model T or any sort of classic car, figure out where you're going to put it. You know, they don't need to be out in the elements any more than they already have been. So you want to protect it, plus if you're going to work on it, you want to have a place to work on it. Sometimes we get excited getting something, a car or whatever, but right off the bat I knew that I was definitely going to want to tuck this away somewhere and have a spot that was warm and that I could spend some time with it. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video.